Hello there. My name is Chris Ringler. I am an author, filmmaker, podcaster, general ne'er-do-well living in Flint, Michigan. You can find all of my blogs and podcasts and links to my books and all kinds of other shenanigans on my website, spookychris.com. I'm going to be reading a short story that is going to be from an upcoming collection that is focused solely on monsters. I thought it would be kind of a fun themed collection. I hope to release it in 2021. This is called The Monster. He stared at it from across the room with a faint smile on his lips, a voyeur looking into the mirror of his creation. The room felt too bright, too pristine, white on white on white. His aesthetic, but it seemed wrong now, obscene. The only thing that seemed to fit, that seemed holy here, was the red pool and crimson spatters that encircled the body on the table. The man rubbed his hands together and looked down at them. Red, red, red. His smile grew. Red was the color of life, the color of death. Red was the vibrant, beating heart of the universe, not this white. This awful nothingness that represented the vanity between thoughts, the imaginary perfection of a fractured soul. The man shook his hands and watched as red droplets dotted the walls and floor. That was better. That was a start. He looked down at his clothes, white pants, white shoes, white apron, white shirt, and upon his face a white mask. He took his bloody hand and wiped it across his face and down his chest. Better. The man stood and pushed two small tables on wheels full of bloody tools aside and strode over to the body. It lay motionless on the table, tangles of surgical string haphazardly tying sections together, clumsy sutures and messy stitches. One eye was hanging on its cheek. Its chest was still open, though the heart was inside and attached. He'd been in a rush, a hurry. The urges were coming sooner now, more aggressive. He had tried everything, meditation, pills, hypnosis, and on, and nothing worked. The only thing that could exorcise this red demon was to give in to it, to let it have its way. He had found a way to control it, though, a way to chain it still. This was his way. His craft, his art. He would use this room, white and pristine like he had never been on the inside. And he would bloody these walls without harming any more people, any more living people. Enough had suffered at his hand. Here, though, here the demon could be set free to do as it wished. He wasn't proud of his work. This sloppy mess. The man made one. Bodies borrowed from the morgue, disassembled, detached, put back together like a puzzle with pieces that didn't fit. Legs that were so black they almost glittered, a flabby torso, pale and tattooed. The head of a young man still in his prime. It was no fun playing with the toys out of their box. No, he needed the thrill of making something new. Something that shouldn't exist, and then destroying it. He had always wondered what to do with his father's property, up north. A place he had no interest in or connection to, but when the demon had whispered to him and said, what if everything clicked into place? An operating theater, a furnace room, a red room for the ladies he built, the white rooms for the men. Sometimes the men and women changed rooms. It was up to the demon as to what its pleasure was. Usually, though, its pleasure was pain. He liked that. He liked the red sort of fun. He liked that best. Oh, but the bodies. The bodies had started to pile up in his playrooms. One on another, stacked and broken, toys to be thrown away, or parts to be reused. Perhaps those broken toys could be fused to make something new. Perhaps. The man stretched, cracked his fingers, and attached the wires to the heart and turned on the machine he had also borrowed, which sat on the stationary table beside him. He ran a hand over the slack face of the dead young man and smiled as he felt stirrings both above and below. He closed his eyes and ran his thumb over the cold lips of the man. His hand slid over the chest, caressed the still heart, then his hands fell on what he had been seeing the entire time. The scalpel was sticky with blood that had dried. With no purpose, the blade was just a tool with nothing to do. That would not do. An artist's tool needs its clay. Oh, and it had carved so much clay over these past few months. Like this one, this body waiting for life. Waiting. Not for long, though. The blade would have purpose again, and more blood than it could ever consume. There'd be more where that came from. Plenty more. The man took his free hand and moved the dial to the highest setting and then pressed a button in. Shock! The body jumped. Shock! It jumped again. Shock! The heart started to beat. Shock! The heart began to thunder, and slowly the eyes of the man on the table opened. It was time to play. So that was my story. I hope you liked it. Again, you can find my blogs and stories and links to all my books and stuff at my website, spookychris.com. Enjoy the rest of the April Ghoul's Day.